The moment we've all been waiting for. Starfield releases tomorrow. That is, if you bought into the premium edition. But it finally means that players will have their very own hands-on experience. And if you are someone that has bought into the standard edition, which does mean that you need to wait until the 6th of September, you will still be able to see other people give reviews, share their gameplay, share their own opinions. And in a way, you'll still get that second-hand entertainment. But with all of that said, there's quite a bit we already know about and something that every player will need to go through. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about the introduction. And this may go without saying, but spoiler alert. Your journey begins pretty normal. You're not a big time space explorer and you're not fighting off the many factions within the game. You are quite simply a miner. You are one of the many other workers whose jobs it is to mine resources from planets and asteroids. This is only your second day on the job, so you're fairly new. Whilst heading down in the mines, you'll meet other people who will be the first lot of NPCs that you'll start talking to. This is where you'll learn the core gameplay mechanics of gathering resources. This is something that you're going to have to do throughout the whole game, and it makes sense that this is something that the game teaches you on how to do from the very beginning. You'll be given specialist equipment, which is just known as the cutter, and this will allow you to beam away resources and any types of metals and other materials away from any surroundings, allowing you to break them down and collect them. Even though this is your second day on a job, it's also a special day, because whilst collecting all of these resources, there's other miners doing the exact same thing, and quite recently a team was able to break through into a cave formation that features some mysterious anomalous signals. That is when you walk through and ultimately you touch it and you're given a vision of the great beyond. Very similar to what we already knew about based on what's been shown within gameplay trailers. You're knocked unconscious and we're not sure of the length of time, but what we do know is that once you come back through, you're met with two other characters talking to you, and then you go into this state where they ask you if you remember who you are, and it goes into character customization. This is the point in which you customize your character. You select out of the presets that are available and you can go straight into the game, or you can customize them a bit more based on the body and also the face. But the more important thing is that you need to select your background and if you want to have any traits. Traits are optional, but you can have up to 3. Up until this point, you're living a normal life, but by touching and finding that artifact triggers a sequence of events that will send you off into a completely different adventure. After you finally customize your character and you're happy with the looks, the background, the traits, you get back into gameplay. And this is where you'll meet the first main character. This character is called Barrett. Barrett has recently landed on the planet that you're on, has also investigated the mines because he's interested in the artifact that you just touched. He's paying good money for it and also invites you to join with them to take the artifact back to the planet Jemison, located in the Alpha Centauri system. Whilst traveling, another faction called the Crimson Fleet will attack you. This is your time to grab your weaponry and get your first taste of combat. Barrett is impressed with your shooting skills, but not just that, he instantly trusts you. He knows that you touched the artifact and he knows that's based on your vision to see far beyond. You can do things for the greater good of humanity. So he invites you to join the Constellation. The Constellation has been described as the last group of space explorers who are there to uncover the mysteries of the universe. It's a small group and at this point they're considered a joke. There's not many of them, there's certainly larger factions within the game, and many believe that there are far bigger and better things that people should be doing. Not so much just exploring space, especially when they're paying ridiculous money for artifacts, but that is just how others see them within game. But Barrett doesn't have time to tell you all of these intricate details, because just as this is the introduction, you've now gone through how to collect resources, you've also gone through your normal combat, it's also time for you to go through space combat. After taking out the Crimson Fleet who have boarded your ship, there will be many more Crimson Fleet ships which are now shooting at you. This is where you can first take control of a spaceship and you can start firing back. The ship is equipped with ballistic rounds, missiles, and lasers, meaning that you have your full armory. You can test out whatever it is that you want at this point, so that you can get a taste of what you like, what you don't like, ready for later game. When you've taken out all the pirates that have been dispatched, you can then loot the wreckage for supplies before engaging the grab drive and setting off to the Constellation HQ, which is located in the city of New Atlantis on the planet Jemison within Alpha Centauri system. This is where you'll meet the rest of the Constellation team. It's made up of 10 members, well 11 once it includes you. Once formal introductions are done, it goes into footage that we have seen from trailers, a quick analysis of the artifact that you and Barrett brought back to the Constellation HQ, and it's at this point in which we don't really know what happens next. This is the introduction, but based on my own speculation, there's nothing else backing this, but I'm sure they'll go through some analysis and that will then list out the next quest, so to speak. Sarah Morgan, who is the leader of the Constellation for the current generation, she will likely list out what are the next steps, which will be your very first mission. At this point, it's also likely that you're given more freedom. Up until this point, you've been able to go through everything as a step-by-step process. The second that you finish one thing, another thing starts. But now this is the point where the intro is somewhat done. Of course, there's going to be many things that you still need to learn as well as unlock whilst going through your journey, but this is the point in which things start to open up a bit more and you should be able to explore New Atlantis. New Atlantis being the biggest city within the game, but also the biggest city that Bethesda have ever put together. A lot of what we've gone through here is stuff that we did know, although with recent leaks, we've been able to get a few more details about specifics. There's a few other things worth mentioning, but with what I'm going to be saying, we know it exists within the game because Bethesda have said it, and also we've had leaks to indicate that it will be within the game, but we don't 100% know how it fits in, although there is quite a bit of speculation. What I mean by this is that at some point within the introduction, you will need to visit our solar system, which has been labeled within game, within the Starfield lore, as the old neighborhood. Now you'll need to go and visit the old neighborhood because Earth is no longer habitable, and this is one of the mysteries which many people have been talking about on the build-up for Starfield, but a big mystery that you will find out within game. There's theories out there, we've got videos on this channel also talking about it, but it is something that you will find the answer to as you go through your journey. But this journey starts when you first go through the introduction. However, we don't 100% know where it fits within the introduction, whether it's the first thing that you have to go and do, or once you go and meet the Constellation and Sarah Morgan tasks you with going to visit the old neighborhood. We simply do not know, although there is a theory out there, and it does make a lot of sense, that when you first start your job, your second day on the job, the planet in which you're on is actually Mars. Mars in Starfield is a colonized planet with heavy mining and industrial focuses. And based on this, it would be perfect for you to start out within the old neighborhood, our solar system, mining on Mars, and that's where you touch the artifact. But that's also where you can start to find out little secrets and Easter eggs based on what other people are talking about of Earth and what actually happened to Earth. And that will also start that mystery alongside. But with this theory, it's also been highlighted that there's over 1,000 planets within Starfield, and there's going to be loads, which could be good for mining. But the good news with all of this is that we are not far away now. We will get the answers to these questions tomorrow, or potentially in a couple of hours, or maybe you've already got the answers and you can write in the comment section down below how correct all of this is or how wrong this all is, all depending when you actually see this. If you enjoyed this video and you're wanting a bit more Starfield content, then I highly recommend clicking the video on screen. That video is either a previous one building up to the hype just before the release, or it's a newer video which has just been uploaded and we're currently playing Starfield. So click that, and whatever it is, I hope you enjoy.